This is Jeff Mucci with RCR Wireless News. We're in the final day and final hours of the 2012 DAS in Action event with Mike Fitch, who's President and CEO of PCIA. Mike, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Jeff. Thanks for being here.
Well, it was a great show. Close to 300 people registered. The room was full for 2 solid days. Can you talk about some of the highlights from your perspective?
Well, I think, clearly the attendance, the growth of the membership of the DAS Forum. Again, it's kind of the buzz in the room, as you alluded to. There's a ton of interest in DAS and small cells. It's a big topic of conversation here, of course, because this is DAS focused and DAS centric. But anywhere you go with wireless events today, DAS and small cells are a big part of the agenda and a big part of the audience interest. And this, I think, is reflective of that. As you said, we've got 300 attendees. Really, it didn't attrit as the event wore on. We'll wrap up with an outdoor DAS tour this afternoon. We had the indoor DAS tour yesterday afternoon. So it's just been great. I think people are energized and enthusiastic and excited about the opportunities that this part of the industry presents.
For those not familiar with the DAS Forum, the State Wireless Association,
Sure.
PCIA, can you talk about the organization and how these
Sure.
different initiatives fit into the PCIA umbrella?
Yes, absolutely, and it's a good question. PCIA, of course, is a national industry association, not for profit. Typical of, there are hundreds of these kinds of associations in Washington. Industry by industry, sector by sector, and we are the Wireless Infrastructure Association, so all wireless infrastructure of any sort, any type. Our membership, which is broad, includes the national carriers, includes the big tower companies all the way down to the mom and pops, includes all the companies with specialized skills that support those businesses, so zoning attorneys, site acquisition firms, tower lighting, I mean, you name it, and they're PCI members and participants. 5 years ago, we set up the DAS Forum to try to give more recognition and promote education and awareness of DAS as a part of the overall wireless infrastructure in the U.S. It started relatively small. It was a few specialized companies at that time. It's really grown like topsy. We're hitting 50 members now of the DAS Forum, which is huge growth over about a five-year period. And we've done at least one every year DAS in Action event like this one, 1 or 2 days depending on which event it was. They started a little shorter and a little smaller, understandably, and have grown both in participation, in length, and in the scope of what's covered. So now there's, almost, I would say, an equal focus on indoor and outdoor DAS. Both are really critically important. Both are big businesses in their own right. As I said this morning in introducing a panel, when you start to have $1 billion acquisitions of dedicated DAS companies, everybody's starting to pay lots of attention to DAS. So, and then you mentioned the state wireless associations. The state wireless associations are volunteer groups at the state level. We have them right now in 38 states with a couple more trying to get started. Those are independent volunteer groups that work with PCIA and that PCIA supports, because it's a way for us to really leverage our scope and our assets. Otherwise, with 18 folks in the DC suburbs, we can only spread ourselves so far and so thin. So we provide a lot of support to the state wireless associations. They provide a lot of support to what we're trying to do, and it's a very synergistic combination.
Mike, congratulations on a great event and best wishes for continued success in the future.
Thank you, Jeff, and thanks for being here. Always a pleasure to work with RCR.
Thank you.